Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. This is Jeng and Jen. Now, today we have the Matchmaker show, and our guest on today's show is not new. I am repeating this show, and our guest has not been matched successfully. He's a 46-year-old man in the United States of America. He's a single man searching for a wife. I want you to be very careful because there are people who do not listen to these videos. And if you do not listen to somebody's story, then you go to ask him, what is your name? What is your age? Which state do you live in? Are you coming to relocate? And if you ask those questions, the person will feel like you are not even serious, or else you have not made a decision, or you do not even care to listen because maybe you are approaching different people just because you got the contact. So please listen to the end so that at least you have a concrete idea of who the man is, what kind of a woman he is looking for, and questions like that. So if you start a conversation, he will ask you, did you listen to my story? What will be your answer? Now, our guest on today's show is Mr. Mukiri, 46 years old, single man, and he does not have children. And he wants to enter marriage with a woman who is single and searching. He is living in the United States of America, and he is in Arizona, right? Yes, he's in Arizona. And after this, I'm going to post his WhatsApp number or his phone number on my Facebook page at Jenganjeru, so that as many as of those who will be interested can get in touch with him. You see, while most people are looking for matches, there are people who are trying different partners. But for our guest today, he would prefer somebody who has listened to the story, somebody who has given it thought, and somebody who has decided to be with him. So our guest on today's show comes from Kenya, but lives in the US. He is a Kenyan American. He's an African American. Not just an African American, a Kenyan American, born and raised in Kenya, except that he holds citizenship for both countries. He holds citizenship for both countries. And he is looking for a wife because of obvious reasons. That is why most people are looking for partners, because they want to live a happy, fulfilling life. However, he has a special story. And I have seen women who do not have children on the show and they still get matches. I have seen men who do not have children. For instance, Mr. Philip, whom I brought yesterday, the returnee from France, the guy who was deported from France, does not have children. And but for him, he doesn't have a problem with children. But for our guest today, he does not want a person who has children or a person who wants to get children. He wants to live a child-free life. And when you speak about child-free, you are speaking of somebody who does not have children in the past, a person who does not have children in the present, and a person who is not willing to have children in the future. That is the definition of child-free. Whether those children are yours biologically or otherwise, he does not want to associate himself with parenting. He loves children, yes. He has a ministry that supports children. So he is not a person who hates children, except that he wants to live a child-free life. There are people who do not have children biologically, and if they fail to have children, they can even adopt children. I hope you get this. There are people who, for maybe scientific or biological reasons, medical cases, they were not able to get children. Others went beyond the age of childbearing, maybe menopause, and they were not able to get children. Nevertheless, they would want to get children, maybe through adoption or otherwise. Adoption is where you take a child and you take the role of parenting. You raise that child as yours. You give them an education. You give them shelter. And those children are entitled to equal rights, just like children you have given birth to or you have sired. Do you understand? Nevertheless, those people still exist. However, for the sake of our guest today, Mr. Mukiri, he wants a woman who is child-free, a woman who has not gotten children in the past, a woman who does not have children today, and a woman who is not willing to have children in the future, either through birth or adoption or otherwise. So I hope now you understand the kind of man he is. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, Mr. Mukiri is not returning to Kenya. If he comes to Kenya, it is to visit. But he is willing to live there in the US. He is willing to settle down there. That is where his home is. That is where his work is. That is where he earns a living. That is where he stays. So he wants to stay in the US. It doesn't really matter whether you are watching this from the US or you're watching this from any other part of the world. So long as you are just like Mr. Mukiri, you are just like him, you want to live a child-free life, feel free to contact his WhatsApp number. It's the number that I'm going to post on my Facebook page after this. You can get in touch with him. Then you will be the one making a decision. He will be able to choose from the very many people who are going to approach him. Then one thing leads to another. According to him, there are so many things that couples can do together. Companionship, for example. There are people who raise families without children. And when you look at a definition of family, a family is either complete with or without children. Because there are even people who tried to get children and they were not fortunate. Now, it is not that Mr. Mukiri cannot get children of his own. I want you to understand, although he is going to clarify this to the candidates that are going to approach him, he is able to sire children. It is not that he cannot, but he has an experience that made him make that decision. That experience is something, he also had an accident, he says, but he is going to explain to the candidate why he decided not to have a child or children, the reason why he decided he doesn't want to become a father. There are people who understand that being a father or being a mother carries a lot of responsibilities. And the responsibility ahead of you is big because children will never get tired of you. Children will require your assistance, whether it is monetary assistance or emotional assistance, spiritual guidance, any other thing that a parent can offer, the children will require as long as you live. Okay, so there is no relaxing from parenting. If you made a decision to become a parent, you will become a parent for life, whether your children are old or young. So there are reasons why he doesn't feel stable enough to become a dad. Any other responsibility of a husband, he just wants to be a husband, not a father. So if you're there, you are single and you're searching and you're looking forward to getting a man who is in the US, 46 years of age, and you are younger than him, you're willing, get in touch. It doesn't matter. Age is actually not a number. It's not a problem to him. But if you're there and you're willing, get in touch. Until then, this is Jenganjero. Continue subscribing to our YouTube channel and God bless you. Bye-bye.